Yes, so let's talk about the other one. And honestly, this is, again, we say it every single episode. This is going to be what we talk about until it happens. But it seems like the Penguins and Kris Letang are closing in on a new contract extension that would leave Letang with the Pittsburgh Penguins for the next couple of years. It is reportedly being said that they are between $7 and $8 million right now in their average annual value. When I hear that, considering Kris Letang on his previous contract made $7.25 million, if they are between 7 and 8 right now, then they are doing the exact same thing they did with Brian Rust, which for the Pittsburgh Penguins, again, massive win.
Big W. Big W with this. 7.25 is what he was at. And sure, he's getting old. And again, it's coming to the point where more and more I am becoming okay with the 5-year thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not the discussion here. We're just discussing that number, which not going much higher than what he was already making is huge, because we know he's been rumored to be getting 8 to 9 from us, no less. The open market has not started yet, so there are no rumors of other teams offering him 9. There have been talks that the discussions have reached Letang to have linked Letang to $9 million. That's a lot. Now, it's not. That's just a lot of money in general. It's not too much more than what he was already making, but it's higher than what we would like him to go to. Brian Burke said that both Letang and Malkin need to bend a little if they want to remain here. It seems like Letang is willing to do it a little if he's going to go to 7 to 8 million. Imagine if we got him at seven flat.
Oh, if he.
Wow.
See, but that would be
There's no
really.
way, but...
There's no way, like, because he wants more money because he has been underpaid. We've agreed to that fact. So you would imagine he does get a pay increase, but if it's only $750K, that's you can't ask for more as a member of the Pittsburgh Penguins or somebody that follows that team, especially considering the fact that for how long has Crosby not been the highest paid player on this team? If Crosby at 8.7 is your highest paid player, you're in a pretty good spot. Now, there is the issue of having so many $4 million, $5 million players because they have about half a dozen of them, but that can be handled. It's a lot easier to handle that than 3 or 4 or 5 guys up over that $7 million mark, which is where the Toronto Maple Leafs are at right now. That's when you start to get a little bit more issues whenever you have that many people at that big of a contract. But for Kris Letang to be between 7 and 8, I think that is a massive W if the Penguins can get that done. I told you and was starting to say off air that I was surprised we didn't get an extension announcement over the weekend. But again, might be the holiday weekend, Canada Day, of course. Letang is a Quebecois. So maybe he was celebrating that. And they said, you know what, we'll come back, make that deal next week. If I asked you, Horwat, Letang will be signed by, and then a day, do you have any idea when you would think, like, we're not going to hold you to it, at least I'm not going to hold you to it. I don't know about our listeners, but I'm not going to hold you to it. But when do you think this deal could be done by?
Done by July 12th, 2022, the day before free agency. I'm going to take the cheap way out, unlike Kris Letang here, which is the absolute correct way.
Yes.
Get your money and take your small raise here. Like I said, I'm fine with the 5 years, especially if we have to bring in clauses into the discussion. He has, let's say, the full no move for the first 3. Line him up with the Crosby deal. Ship him out after that if you need to. I'm still convinced that Crosby's got more hockey to play after his contract, but that's a different story for 3 years down the line.